would solve it by just putting Roger and Andrew together.
Nice.
We'll be live in just a couple minutes.
Oh, all right. You are live.
Cool.
All right, there we go.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Roger and I are real close today. We're going to start off with roll call. Mr. Secretary, if you take roll call, please.
It's roll call for 23 January delegation meeting for those present. Vice Chair Simmons.
Present.
Speaker Pena-Melnick. Delegate Bagnall.
Present.
Delegate Barnes. Delegate Bartlett.
Here.
Delegate Baylor.
Here.
Delegate Chang.
Here.
Delegate Chisholm.
Here.
Delegate Howard.
Here.
Delegate Jones. Excused absence. Delegate Kipke. Delegate Lehman.
Here.
Delegate Congolo.
Here.
Delegate Rogers.
Here.
Delegate Schmidt.
Schmidt here.
Chairman Pruski.
Here.
Chairman, we have quorum.
Great. Good morning, everyone. I do want to take a moment and again apologize for the technical difficulties. It looks like we do have a couple special guests. I see Senator Simon Ayer is on. Also, it looks like we have some folks from the county, Greg Swain, Anne Arundel County Attorney. I don't see anyone else, but I want to make sure we recognize them and thank you for being here today. Before we get started, though, in the meeting, we have Delegate Schmidt that's going to offer our Pledge of Allegiance and prayer.
Yep, let's go ahead. You want to start with the pledge or the prayer first, Chair?
We're going to get the pledge up or the flag up in a second here. Just one moment, please.
I thought Roger might just hold one up in the air. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Go ahead and go with the prayer and take some posture. Heavenly Father, thank you for this morning. Thank you for us getting through another week as we brace for a snowstorm of the ages here in Maryland. We pray for safety, guidance, and wisdom. As we enter into the third week next week, pray that we continue to work together because we know it is your will. In your name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Delegate Schmidt. Again, we already introduced guests here today. Want to thank you for joining us. We have two items on today's agenda. One is a bill hearing, but first we need to go over the Anne Arundel County delegation rules. So to all members of the delegation, you received an email with all the rules. And today we're going to open up for any amendments. I see Delegate Bagnall has her hand raised.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to offer an amendment to for an amendment to a bill to be adopted. The motion on the amendment must receive affirmative votes from a majority of the whole number of delegation members. In other words, 9 affirmative votes. Many in this call will recall last year when we had to sort of go through a number of procedural votes because our rules were silent on the on what was a majority for an amendment. So this simply clarifies that the process for an amendment on bills still requires that 9 affirmative votes. And with that, I would move the amendment.
Okay, Delegate Chang.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to second the gentle lady's motion.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any questions or discussions related to this amendment? Let me give a few seconds here. All right, Mr. Secretary, could you please vote on the amendment that was properly moved and seconded?
This vote is for an amendment to the rules for the Anne Arundel County delegation, and it states, quote, for an amendment to a bill to be adopted, the motion on the amendment must receive affirmative votes from a majority of the whole number of the delegation members, i.e. 9 affirmative votes. That is what this vote is for. Vice Chair Simmons,
Yes.
Speaker Pena-Melnick, Delegate Bagnall,
Yes.
Delegate Barnes, Delegate Bartlett,
Yes.
Delegate Baylor,
Yes.
Delegate Chang,
Yes.
Delegate Chisholm,
Yes.
Delegate Howard,
Yes.
Delegate Jones. Absent. Delegate Kipke,
No.
Delegate Lehman,
I vote aye.
Delegate Congolo,
Yes.
Delegate Rogers,
Yes.
Delegate Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Pruski.
Yes.
By a vote of 12-1 with 3 absent, the motion carries.
All right, thank you, Mr. Secretary. Now we have the rules as amended to take a vote. Are there any additional amendments to our rules or discussion before we take that vote? Seeing none, Mr. Secretary, please take a vote on the rules as amended.
This vote is for rules as amendment on 23 January for the Anne Arundel County delegation. Vice Chair Simmons,
Yes.
Speaker Pena-Melnick, Delegate Barnes, Delegate Bartlett,
Yes.
Delegate Bagnall,
Yes.
Delegate Baylor,
Yes.
Delegate Chang,
Yes.
Delegate Chisholm,
Yes.
Delegate Howard,
Yes.
Delegate Jones absent, Delegate Kipke,
Yes.
Delegate Lehman,
Aye.
Delegate Congolo,
Yes.
Delegate Rogers,
Yes.
Delegate Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Pruski.
Yes.
By a vote of 13-0 with 3 absent, the rules as amendment carries.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. We will obviously implement those rules now that they've been voted on. We do have our first bill hearing. I thought this would be a good time to talk about how legislation operates in front of the committee this year. So what will happen is it will be added to the agenda. We will first have a hearing, and then moving forward, if there are amendments, we'll have to wait and obviously vote on them. But today, we're going to introduce HB 0320, Anne Arundel County Property Tax Credit Rural Legacy Program. My understanding is Delegate Baylor is going to be presenting on this bill.
Great. You ready?
Yes, you have the floor, sir.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, colleagues. It's an honor to be the first bill this year, and this is also my first county delegation bill, so thank you for the opportunity. I'm Delegate Dylan Baylor, proud to represent District 30A, here to testify in support of House Bill 320. I'll be as brief as possible. I'm also joined by Anna Cheney, the chair of the County Agriculture Commission, Ethan Hunt from the County Executive's Office, and Michael Stringer from the county's Planning and Zoning Office. Generally speaking, what this bill would do is it would grant Anne Arundel County the authority to have a tax credit for rural legacy properties in rural legacy areas for which the property owner has sole development rights. As we know, the rural legacy program, particularly in Anne Arundel County, but across the state, is one of our state and our county's best tools to preserve agricultural land across the county. And I think one thing that we heard this week in my committee, the Environment and Transportation Committee, at the State of Agriculture briefing, is that with inflation and a lot of other factors, the margins for a lot of farmers in Anne Arundel and across the state are just getting slimmer and slimmer. So this legislation would enable the county to pass a tax credit to be able to help provide a meaningful relief to our farmers across the county. When the fiscal note is done, it's enabling, so there won't be a specific state fiscal note when the time comes. And I think this bill would just allow us to support our agricultural community here in the county. I also want to thank 12 of you for being co-sponsors on the legislation. So with that, I'm happy to turn it over to my panel for brief remarks, if that works, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Thank you.
Certainly, I'll go first. I'm Ethan Hunt from the County Executive's Office. As Delegate Baylor said, we do have Anna Cheney, our Ag Commission Chair, and Michael Stringer, our Program Manager from the Office of Planning and Zoning. We also have Greg Swain, our County Attorney, who can answer any legal questions, but I just want to say how much I appreciate Delegate Baylor agreeing to sponsor this bill, and to all the members of the delegation who have signed on as co-sponsors. So just very briefly, preservation of farms and forests is a priority in Maryland and Anne Arundel County, and preserving these natural resources, supporting agricultural economy, enhancing quality of life, and supporting smart growth and sustainable development are all important priorities as well. This bill is authorizing the county to provide a tax credit for landowners who enter rural legacy conservation easements voluntarily. And those easements extinguish development rights and preserve agriculture and natural resource value on the land. This bill is about fairness and supporting landowners who voluntarily preserve their property. A couple other counties have similar provisions. Harford County and Charles County also allow tax credits for rural legacy easements. And this would expand that to Anne Arundel County. It's pretty limited and targeted. There are only 21 properties in Anne Arundel County that currently have rural legacy easements and would be eligible. Depending on how the tax credit is structured, it would probably lower their property tax bills by about $1,300 a year on average, which isn't a huge amount, but that's pretty significant for farms that have narrow profit margins, as Delegate Baylor mentioned. So I'm going to kick it over to Michael Stringer real quick, just to talk about Anne Arundel County specifically.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you to the delegation for bringing this up and for sponsoring it. We really appreciate it. This has been an item that's been on our to-do list for a long time. And our farmers who participate in our agricultural preservation programs is a real high priority for them. Anne Arundel County has preserved over 14,900 acres of farmland through our agricultural and woodland preservation program. We use 3 programs: the Maryland Agricultural Land Preservation Foundation, which of course has state funding that gets matched by the county; the Rural Legacy Program that uses funds through the Department of Natural Resources as grants to the county, it also gets supplemented by county dollars; and the county has its own agricultural preservation program that uses just county funds. The 3 programs are all voluntary, and in each one, the owner places a permanent deed restriction on the property to limit future residential development. Basically, the government buys the development rights off the property, the landowner continues to own it, continues to operate as a farm, and they commit to forever keeping it in rural agricultural use. So this helps them operate the farm, helps them to pass it on to the next generation or sell it to another farmer, and those deed restrictions remain as ownership transitions. The county staff work with landowners to match their property and their goals with the needs of the different programs. So it's important that all 3 of these programs function well, have funding, and have rules that work well for different landowners, because they will fit differently between different needs of different farms and landowners. In addition to, when we put these conservation easements on properties, we pay them up front to purchase those development rights. Anne Arundel County also offers a tax credit that goes on their property tax bill, the county portion of the bill. And that tax credit is available to landowners who participate in the Maryland Agricultural Land Preservation Foundation program and the county program. But because of specific wording in state law, that's not available to property owners when they enter into the rural legacy easements. So this enabling legislation would allow the county to be able to provide to rural legacy, treat all 3 of these programs the same when it comes to the county property taxes. Now, as you know, county's ability to levy tax on real property and to provide tax credits is authorized by state code. In the tax property article, the Maryland Code is interpreted very, very narrowly. The tax property article already allows the county to provide tax credits under state and county ag preservation programs, but doesn't explicitly mention rural legacy. So for the county to provide tax credits for the rural legacy program participants, we need the legislature to pass an amendment to the tax property article code that would specifically put that in. That's what this bill does. And when HB 320 becomes law, then the county council can later act to enact it and actually put the tax credit into the county code. And as I mentioned before, this is really important for our landowners who participate in these programs. They're making major financial decisions when they enter into these programs that are going to affect, their whole life and their family's future generations. They do get paid upfront for the easements, but these tax credits provide an ongoing incentive for them to be able to participate. And as one of the farmers on our Agricultural Preservation Advisory Board always says that, he can't recommend this rural legacy program to local landowners because they don't get the same tax benefit as the other ones. So he said, well, why would you pick this one if you have 2 other programs that give you an ongoing tax benefit and this one doesn't? So to help us make sure that we're giving a fair deal to all the different landowners who are participating in these volunteer programs, we're going to be able to extend this credit to all of them. So in closing, we think that this is a technical bill that's going to help align tax policy across the 3 different programs that we use. The fiscal impacts are going to be limited to Anne Arundel County. Tax credit only applies to the county portion of the real property tax, not the state portion. And the bill only applies to Anne Arundel County. So it's going to be a very targeted effort that's really going to help support farming in our county. And we ask for the delegation's support to help us preserve farms and forests in the county to benefit the environment, the economy, and our communities.
Thank you. Is there another panel member, Delegate Baylor?
Yeah, Anna Cheney.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for the opportunity and thank you for hearing this bill. My name is Anna Cheney. I'm the chair of the Ag Commission of Arundel County. I'm a farm owner and I have my farm is in preservation. So I kind of think about Arundel County and this particular request as one of the most important things as I live here. I'm 13th generation Arundel County, so a lot of farming in my heritage. And when I think about Anne Arundel County, I think of it as a mirror, almost a reflection of the state. And the state itself we've got oceans and we've got mountains. And Anne Arundel County has the Chesapeake Bay, the Patuxent River, and we don't have mountains, but we have farms. And as you know, there's a lot of pressure on farms to stop farming for so many different reasons. And as you probably also know, there's a lot of demand for people to have access to farmland, to food, to things we call agritourism today, which is to bring the children, the school children, to the farms, to experience, to see where their food comes from, maybe to get their hands in the soil, to be connected to nature. And it's like a species, farmland is like a species that's endangered. And when we have these 3 programs in Anne Arundel County, and all 3 can be equally as beneficial in this tax credit, which clearly doesn't have a major impact financially on the county as a whole, but does on an individual farmer. And the demand for what these boutique smaller farms are offering is increasing exponentially day by day. And there's so many benefits to providing support for the people who really want to enter into farming, who want to continue the family legacy, who don't want to have the pressure to do something that's just not aligned with their heart, their spirit, their whole purpose for being here in life. And so I really appreciate the opportunity to be heard and to know that you're supporting everyone when you support this bill, because everyone needs food. Everyone wishes their children to be able to run and be in an area that is safe. And with the changing face of agriculture, not only in the state, but specifically in Anne Arundel County, agritourism is very important to the farm and to the people. It also provides a great way to bring income into the state via agritourism itself. While we're bringing the people in, we are not having an impact on the demand of our resources, meaning, the roads, it's tourism. So when we do that, when we have this tax credit, then it does give us farmers 3 options that are much more equal. It brings parity to the 3. And I think it's long overdue. Farmers have been asking for this for over 20 years. And I will say Mr. Stringer has really brought some new life into the preservation program. And I think this is a game changer. So thank you so much.
Thank you to Delegate Baylor and the panel. I just want to make sure, Delegate Baylor, there is no other folks testifying?
No.
Okay, great. Thank you. We're going to open it up to members for questions, as being this is the first public hearing on this bill. We're going to start with Delegate Schmidt.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Michael and Anna, both of you for being here, and thank you for the explanation and all the work that you do to preserve farmland. It is super important, especially in this county, to preserve what we have left. And I thank you for that. I do have a quick question because I'm not sure if I missed it on Michael's presentation or not. Is this in addition to, or is this just a third option for the farm owner?
Michael, do you want to answer it?
Sure. Thanks. Yeah, so it's a third option. Right now, we're able to offer to purchase easements through the Rural Legacy Program, the Maryland Agricultural Land Preservation Foundation, or the county's own program. And in addition to that upfront payment that those programs provide for purchasing development rights, the county also provides a tax credit that will reduce the land portion of the property tax and gives a credit towards some of the improvements as well on the county portion of the property tax bill. And right now, the way the tax code is worded, we're able to apply that to the Maryland Agricultural Land Preservation Foundation and the county easements, but not rural legacy. So this will help make sure that all 3 are eligible for the tax credit.
I gotcha. I understand. Thank you for sharing that. Now, you had mentioned 21 possible farms. Would this increase potentially to more farms?
Yes, hopefully over time we'll get more and more properties in this. So in the future that would increase.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Delegate Howard?
Stu kind of asked my question about an increase, but so I'll just follow it up and just say thanks to the delegate for bringing the legislation. It was the first legislation I co-sponsored this session, and I know many colleagues across the aisle have sponsored this legislation. I thought that was symbolic and nice that we came together on an important bill like this, and I hope there's a lot more of that. So thanks for bringing the bill. Happy to co-sponsor legislation, and I guess since it's got to be in the form of a question, I'll say, isn't that so?
Thank you, Delegate Howard. I did have one follow-up question. Is there a farm size requirement or restriction in terms of land?
Yes, there are. Each of the 3 different programs have slightly different eligibility criteria, which actually makes it great in terms of helping to work with different landowners with different operations and size of farms to make sure they have the right fit. For the Maryland Agricultural Land Preservation Foundation and the county, they have a 50-acre minimum for farms. Rural Legacy doesn't have that minimum. What we have is a designated area. So there's a core part of South County, south of Highway 50, that is designated by the county as the Rural Legacy area. So that helps us preserve kind of a critical mass of farmland in the core of the county. And within that, as long as the property has development rights, it can be eligible for the program. So Rural Legacy actually fits a nice niche for those properties that are, say, between 30 and 50 acres that aren't big enough to get into the other 2 programs, but can fit into this. What's also interesting about Rural Legacy is that because it's a Department of Natural Resources program, they're also interested in preserving preserving forests and streams and wetlands as much as the agricultural land. So a lot of those properties in South County too might be a 50-acre property, but only 10 acres is in pasture, the rest of it's in forest. And the Rural Legacy is a really good fit for properties like that. So it fits a nice niche for different kinds of properties that we have in the county.
Thank you. Delegate Schmidt, follow up?
Yes, real quick. Thank you. And great to see you again, Michael. Is that a designation from USDA, or where does that 50-acre designation come from?
The criteria are established by each of the programs. So Maryland Agricultural Land Preservation has its own state code and regulations, as well as Rural Legacy, and that's where those eligibility criteria are established.
Okay, thank you for that, and great to see you as one of my constituents on this Zoom call.
All right. Thank you to my colleagues for asking the questions, and the panelists, and Delegate Baylor for obviously bringing the bill forward. I want to see if there's any additional questions, motions, or actions regarding this initial bill hearing. Okay, want to give proper wait time. So HB 3TO will be set for a vote at our next meeting. That is all the business that we have before the delegation. Is there any other announcements or information for this meeting today? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
Delegate Prusky, can I just briefly say one thing?
Yes, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sure. So just with the upcoming weather this weekend, I've shared with Roger a list of resources from the county that you should all feel free to utilize and share with your constituents. And I believe you all have my cell phone number. If anything comes up over the weekend where you need to contact the county, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt. We appreciate that. Any other announcements? All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Okay, we have a properly motion to move to adjourn in a second. Want to thank you all. Please stay safe and stay warm. Thank you so much, and we'll see if we have a delegation meeting next week. We'll be posted on the floor. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
See you guys on the floor.
All right.